Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Man City now linked with Arsenal defender Ben White. With the return of William Saliba for the 2023 season, Arteta had three reliable centre-backs at his disposal. Ben White, Gabriel Jesus and William Saliba were all deserving of a start, but Arteta could only field two. Saliba had shown in his loan spell at Marseille that he could fortify a defense to the level of a fortress, while White and Magalhaes had impressed last season. Arteta was unsure how to set up his defense. Fortunately, Arteta was given the opportunity to start the trio in Arsenal's league opener against the Crystal Palace. White's versatility earned him a spot at right back, with Saliba and Magalhaes at centre-back. Since then, Arsenal's defense has been set up in this manner. White has excelled in his new position, leading some to believe he is a right-back. Interestingly, White appears to have picked Pep Guardiola's interest. Manchester City, according to Calciomercato, wants to strengthen their defense. A number of defenders have been linked, and the report says that Guardiola is interested in Ben White. The news that Guardiola wants the former Brighton man should worry many Gunners, but Calciomercato claims that interest could be a Pep dream because White would never consider leaving Arsenal. White's decision demonstrates Arsenal's development. Previously, the Gunners would easily lose their best players. Examples included Cesc Fabregas and Robin van Persie. Anyway, considering the transformation Arteta has put Arsenal through, converting them from title pretenders to top contenders. TalkSPORT pundit raves about Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard. Germain Penaud has heaped praise on Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard and his performances this season. The Gunners are flying at the moment in the Premier League. They have lost just one game since the start of the campaign, and they showed tremendous character to come from behind to beat West Ham United on Boxing Day. Skipper Odegaard was outstanding in that game and won the Man of the Match award. Arsenal initially signed Odegaard on loan from Real Madrid in January 2020. The Norwegian had a decent spell at the Emirates, but he only managed 2 goals and 2 assists that made many pundits urge Arsenal to stay away from him. But Mikel Arteta was having none of it. The Arsenal boss made Odegaard's loan deal permanent in the following summer for £30 million. That looks like an absolute bargain now. Odegaard has been one of Arsenal's best players since the start of the season. He is involved in almost everything they do in attack and is their top scorer as well. Penaud has been really impressed, he said on TalkSPORT. It's Arsenal, probably one of the best midfields at the moment. Odegaard, he has come out of nowhere. He has come out of the blocks absolutely flying. Arsenal have an absolutely electric front three: Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Bukayo Saka. They are a nightmare for defenders, but the Gunners' top scorer in the league this season, surprisingly, is Odegaard. The Norwegian has 6 goals and 4 assists to his name this season in 14 Premier League starts. He pulls the strings from the number 10 role every game, and he is one of the biggest reasons why the Gunners have looked so good. Arsenal are currently on top of the Premier League table, 7 points ahead of second place Newcastle United. Nobody expected that before the season started, but they completely deserve to be where they are. Odegaard has played a massive part in that, and if he can carry this on until the end of the season, Arsenal can achieve something really special. Mikel Arteta says Gabriel Jesus is helping Eddie Nketiah behind the scenes at Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus is a huge mess for Arsenal, but Mikel Arteta has revealed that the Brazilian is still having a big impact behind the scenes. The 25-year-old suffered a serious knee injury while on international duty with Brazil at the World Cup. He had to undergo surgery, and he is expected to be out of action for a period of about 3 months. Eddie Nketiah is Arsenal's main man up front now, but Jesus is still doing his bit. A lot has been said about Nketiah since it was revealed that Jesus would be out for a while. The Brazilian was arguably Arsenal's best player in the first half of the season. He is one of the biggest reasons why the Gunners are on top of the table, and his unavailability is a humongous blow. Many came out and urged Arsenal to sign a new striker in January, claiming Nketiah is not on the same level as Jesus. However, the 23-year-old Englishman silenced his critics with an excellent performance against West Ham. Arteta was really impressed with Nketiah after the game, but the Arsenal boss revealed that Jesus has been helping him a lot behind the scenes with his movement and many other things, the Spaniard told BBC Sport. Gabriel Jesus is still around the team. He is having some impact even though he is not on the pitch. He is helping Eddie so much. When you see some of the movements, some of the stuff he is doing, credit to the boys, they have been really supportive. With Jesus not expected to be back anytime soon, Nketiah will get plenty of chances to show the world what he is all about, and his performance against West Ham is a great start. Arsenal take on Brighton next in what will be a very difficult game. However, if Nketiah, with Jesus' help behind the scenes, can step up, they should be able to pick up another win. Ceballos hails unsung Arsenal man Mohamed Elneny. Former Arsenal midfielder Dani Ceballos has defended Mohamed Elneny after a Twitter user appeared to mock the Egyptian. Elneny is no longer a regular at Arsenal and he spent less than 1 minute on the pitch in their win against West Ham after being subbed on before the referee blew the final whistle. A video surfaced on Twitter showing the time he got on the field and how much time he had in there before the game ended. Ceballos replied to the tweet and said, "Incredible professional, incredible teammate, more players like that in football, a luxury player for the Arsenal." Elneny is still at Arsenal because he was in top form for us last season, which earned him a new deal and he deserved it. He has hardly played this term, but he is a humble and effective man who almost always gets the job done when he steps on the field in an Arsenal shirt. This might be his last season at the club, but it will be great if he ends the term by winning the league title. He will also be useful to us if we need to rotate the squad or the players ahead of him on the pecking order get injured. Juventus wants to beat Arsenal to Premier League star Mac Allister. Alexis Mac Allister is a name that will be in the rumour mill for the next few months, probably, until he leaves Brighton after his stunning performances for Argentina at the World Cup. The midfielder has emerged as one of the top talents around because of his performances in Qatar, and it's a matter of time before he joins a bigger club. Arsenal is one of the sides interested in a move for him, and the Gunners have plans to eventually lure him to London. However, they are not alone, and a report via the Daily Mail reveals they must beat Juventus to land him. It says the Italian side is also keen to sign him and could make their move sooner than expected. Mac Allister showed he is a top talent at Qatar and will do well at most clubs, including Arsenal. However, the competition for his signature is serious, and we must act fast if we want to add him to our squad now or in the summer. If we do not establish rapport with his camp now, they will choose to join another suitor, but we must only make the move if Mikel Arteta confirms he needs the midfielder. Darren Bent says Ivan Toney would be perfect for Arsenal. Darren Bent took to Twitter to suggest that Ivan Toney would be perfect for Arsenal after the striker scored his 11th Premier League goal of the season on Boxing Day on Monday. The Gunners, of course, are heading into a crucial period of the season. Mikel Arteta's side boasts a comfortable lead at the top of the table, but they have to prove themselves all over again after the World Cup break. They will also have to do it without Gabriel Jesus for the time being. The Brazilian will be sidelined for some time after undergoing surgery on a knee injury sustained during the World Cup. Eddie Nketiah stacked his claim to fill the void, while Jesus is out with a brilliant performance against West Ham, but it would be a gamble for Arsenal to let the deadline pass without bringing another attacker in. A bid for Mykhaylo Mudryk has reportedly been made. Meanwhile, 90 Minutes claimed that they are in talks with Atletico Madrid over a potential deal for Joao Felix, but Bent believes that there is another name that Arsenal should consider. He was clearly impressed by Toney's performance against Tottenham on Boxing Day, during which the Brentford striker headed home the home side's second goal in the 2-2 draw. Toney's record in the Premier League is absolutely outstanding. The 26-year-old has 23 goals in 48 games since the Bees sealed promotion. Mikel Arteta himself described his journey as an extraordinary one. Obviously, there are certain off-field issues that need addressing before anyone makes a big money move for Toney. But you can understand why Bent would believe that he would be ideal for Arsenal. It will be interesting to see just how Arteta and Edu address the void in the January window left by Jesus since his injury. Arsenal could sign Joao Felix as well as Mudryk, Gunners one of three teams left in hunt. It will be either one of Arsenal, Chelsea or Manchester United for Atletico striker Joao Felix, according to reports from Spain. Spanish outlet COPE claims that Felix is still a man in demand in England and that as of now, that trio are the most likely destination for the Portuguese striker. Felix has been linked with a move to all three for the last few weeks now. Arsenal's interest in Felix is intriguing given they are said to be pushing to sign Mykhaylo Mudryk from Shakhtar. Newcastle too are also believed to have held some form of talks over signing Felix, but COPE claims that the trio of Arsenal, United and Chelsea are the likeliest destinations for Felix right now. Any move for Felix to come to England is likely to be centered around a loan, with all three of those interested parties said to be unwilling to pay around the £100 million Atletico would like for their striker. Felix had a decent enough World Cup with Portugal in the end. He got himself on the score sheet and looked to be the key forward at times. However, he has dipped down the pecking order at Atletico and now looks set for the exit door. It seems unlikely that the Gunners would land both Felix and Mudryk, but Arsenal fans can dream, can they? The idea of bringing in both Mudryk and Felix in January would be quite something. It would be the sort of double deal that sees Arsenal effectively crowned champions given how well they are playing anyway. Felix is a quality operator, as we all know. In terms of his fit at Arsenal, he'd have to play down the middle as a Gabriel Jesus replacement for now. Longer term, he'd go across the front where Arteta needed him. Arsenal target Dusan Vlahovic will cost more than Mykhaylo Mudryk. Italian outlet Tutto Mercato Web reveals that Arsenal target Dusan Vlahovic will only be sold for a monstrous offer in the January transfer window. The Gunners lost Gabriel Jesus to an injury earlier this month. The Brazilian was forced to undergo surgery and he is expected to miss about 3 months of action as a result. Vlahovic has been linked as a possible option for the Gunners in January, but they will have to break the bank to sign him. Just about a week ago, Calciomercato revealed that Arsenal are pushing hard to sign Vlahovic. The 22-year-old striker, branded as lightning and ridiculous by Mika Richards, only joined Juventus in January this year, but things just haven't worked out for him in Turin. Journalist Bennett Jacobs revealed a few days ago that Vlahovic is open to a move as well, as he isn't particularly happy under Juventus boss Massimiliano Allegri. The report from TMW now claims that nobody at Juve is now transferable, including Vlahovic. However, the Italian giants will only sell him if a monstrous offer of £79.7 million arrives in the January transfer window. Vlahovic joined Juventus from Fiorentina for £66.6 million at the start of this year. He signed a 4.5-year deal, which keeps him contracted to the club until the summer of 2026. The Athletic revealed earlier this month that Shakhtar Donetsk winger Mykhaylo Mudryk is Arsenal's priority target in the January window. Fabrizio Romano revealed this week that the Gunners have even made their first move, tabling a €40 million bid plus €20 million in add-ons. Bennett Jacobs revealed this week that although Shakhtar have publicly slapped a €100 million price tag, he has been told they are willing to let him go for a fee between €50 million and €55 million plus add-ons. If TMW are to be believed, Vlahovic will cost a lot more than that in the January transfer window, and it remains to be seen if Arsenal are willing to splash the cash for Vlahovic. Manchester City admirers of Arsenal target Mykhaylo Mudryk. Manchester City are admirers of Mykhaylo Mudryk as Arsenal prepare to make a second bid for the forward ahead of the January transfer window, according to a report from the Evening Standard. Mudryk is attracting attention after a superb start to the campaign with Shakhtar Donetsk. He has scored 10 goals and contributed 8 assists in all competitions, with 5 goals involvements coming in the Champions League. Arsenal have already made their opening bid for the 21-year-old. Reports from Fabrizio Romano this week claim that the Gunners had offered £35 million up front, with a further £18 million in add-ons for the youngster. However, Shakhtar have knocked back the bid from the Premier League leaders, but the Evening Standard reports Arsenal are readying a fresh offer for Mudryk as they remain in talks with Shakhtar. Unsurprisingly, the Gunners are not the only Premier League side with their eyes on Mudryk. The Evening Standard adds that Manchester City have also been impressed by the Ukrainian. It's not yet clear whether Pep Guardiola's men plan to make a move for Mudryk, but clearly Arsenal fans would be forgiven for feeling a little wary of City's interest in their target. It would certainly appear that Mudryk wants to move to the Emirates and join Arsenal. Romano noted that personal terms are not an issue between the two parties. However, there are hurdles for the Gunners to clear before they sign the incredible forward. They still need to agree a fee with Shakhtar, and while the two clubs remain some distance apart, perhaps there is still an opportunity for another club to swoop in and reach an agreement. City are one of those teams who have the financial power to snatch him from Arsenal's grasp, so perhaps that should act as a little warning to the Gunners. They need to get a deal done quickly. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news show, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.